Hey guys, I'm Jason from Zycad.com, and today I just thought I'd show you how I set up Blender for use with 3D printing. So the first thing you're going to want to do is download Blender if you haven't, and you can do that at blender.org. You'll just want to go ahead and click this link here, download Blender 5.0 just came out. You can choose your operating system here, and they also just have the Windows installer right here. So you just click on that and get it installed. Okay, once you have Blender installed, you'll see this screen here when you open it. And one thing I like to do is change the spacebar action to search. That lets me do a few different things while I'm working in Blender. But if you have a previous version of Blender, you want to import your Blender preferences, you can do that, and it will do the best it can to pull over your preferences from there. But for now, we're just going to hit Save New Preferences. Okay, this is the loading screen. You can go ahead and click off to the side here. The first thing that you're going to want to do is change your units. Pretty much everything in 3D printing is set up in millimeters. If you're going to use Imperial, that's up to you, but I clicked on this scene tab here on the right hand side. I'm going to click on units, make sure it's set to metric. To use millimeters, you're going to want to set your scale to 001. Okay, and then you're going to want to set your link to millimeters. Okay, so now if I hit in, that will open up my units here, and you can see that this cube is 2 millimeters squared. Okay. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to hit 1 on my number pad. If you don't have a number pad, you can use the Y right here up on the top of the screen, and that will switch. I want to be looking at it from the negative Y direction here. So I have my cube, and let's say your 3D printer is a standard Ender 3D printer. We're going to go ahead and hit Tab, or if you want to click here, the drop down, you can click Edit Mode. And I'm just going to move this cube down 1 millimeter. So I hit G to grab, Z to lock it to the Z axis, and I'm going to hit -1 to move it down 1 millimeter. Okay? So now the origin point for this cube is right at the top. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my dimensions of this to 220 millimeters. That's about a standard Ender size build plate. So the scale here got changed though, because we basically multiplied that by 110%. So I want to make sure that my scale isn't messed up. But before I do that, I'll go ahead and set my Z. I'll just go 12.5 millimeters. That's about 1/2 inch. So this is my build plate. This is what I can fit on an Ender 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply the scale to this object. I typically just apply rotation and scale, although you won't always want to do that. You can just apply scale. Okay, so we've got a build plate here. Next thing I'm going to do is build volume. So say that I want to print something that's pretty tall. I'm going to go ahead, hit 1 on the number pad, or again, you can change your viewpoint from the guide up here. I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate this object. I'm going to hit R to rotate it, and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. Now I have the same build plate on top, but I want the Z height on a Ender 3 to be 250 millimeters. So I'm going to type in 250. I'm going to hit Control A to apply the scale. And that doesn't really do much for me, right? Because it's just a big block blocking my build volume. I'm going to go over to modifiers. I'm going to add a new modifier. We can use search. We're just going to search for the wireframe modifier. And I'm going to set this to just like 1 millimeter. And since you've already applied the scale, it will accurately give you a 1 millimeter boundary. So this is your build volume, and this is your build plate. And so when you go to make models, you can easily figure out how they're going to fit on your build plate. And you can change these dimensions based on which printer you're designing for. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the View tab over here on the right-hand side. And what I don't like in Blender is if you zoom out too far, you lose the object you're working on by default. So right now it's set to 1,000 millimeters as the clipping point for the end of the camera. I'm going to just add an extra 0 there. So now I can see a lot farther on my build plate here, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to delete this light because you don't really need that. And this camera in here, you can scale it up so you can see it better. If you want to move that, the easiest way to do that is to hit 0 on the number pad. And then we're going to lock the camera to view, and then you can scroll out. Oh, and I'm seeing here, we got to set the clipping point on the actual camera to 10,000 also. And you can do that by having the camera selected, clicking the camera icon on the right-hand side, and changing your end clip to 10,000, okay? So this will be for another day, but and sit your camera up out of the way. So now if I click 1, I have my camera way off over here and out of the way. Next thing you are going to want to do is to change some of your Blender preferences for add-ons that are turned on when you're using Blender. Now we'll go to Edit, go to Preferences. Okay, the first thing you'll want to do is allow online access so that you can find the add-ons from the Blender library here. Okay, now we should be able to find 3D Print Toolbox. You will want this. You're going to hit Install. Now it should be enabled in your add-ons tab here. So that's one item you'll want to use. While you're in your preferences, the next add-on you're going to want to set up is the Align tools. This is very useful for lining up multiple different pieces in a model. So let's go to Get Extensions again, and I'm going to type in Align Tools, and there it is. So you can click on it. You're going to click Install. And if you go to add-ons again, it should now be enabled. This little checkbox will enable it or disable it. Okay, let's add another add-on. And this one is going to be called Bool Tool. This is going to let you cut models with other pieces. Very useful if you're doing 3D printing. You might want to do this on some models that you already have, even just to cut a flat bottom. So you can click Install on that. Let's make sure it's enabled here, and it is. Before you close the Preferences tab, you're going to want to click on these 3 lines here down in the bottom left, and you can click Save Preferences. I have autosave enabled here with this, but you can click Save Preferences and now close it, and you'll know that those are enabled. So what does all that do that we just enabled? Well, let's start with the 3D printing toolbox. So we have this whole new menu here on the right-hand side called 3D Print. This is going to let you check to see if your object is manifold. It's also going to let you easily export STL files straight from this window very easily. So let's we'll just add a cube, and I'll show you how this works. So if you want to add a cube, you can hit Shift-A, and you can click Mesh, Cube. And down here, that's giant. I'm going to go ahead and change the size to 25 millimeters. I'm going to go ahead and move that up just so I can show you. If you want to add an object without using a shortcut, you can just click Add up here on the top of the screen. Make sure you're in object mode. And we've got our cube. So we can make sure this object is manifold by clicking Solid, and it shows us manifold edges. If it wasn't manifold, I can click that and it will show me, oh, 4 edges are not manifold, and that's correct. So I'm going to hit Tab to go back into edit mode, or again, you can choose the drop down here over on the top left, and it will show me the non-manifold edges here, where I click on manifold. If I want to fix that automatically, you can click on the cleanup tab here, click Make Manifold, and it will just add a face there. Now this works for pretty basic errors with geometry, but it doesn't always work for really complex errors. You might manually have to clean that up. But now if I go back into object mode, I hit Solid, and it will tell me that now it's solid because we went ahead and cleaned up that face. Okay, the next thing you can do in this is click export. You can choose your path here, and the file type is going to be STL, and you'll just hit export once you choose your file path, and it will send that cube out to use in a slicer. The next thing we enabled was the align tools, and let me just show you what that's going to do. So if you click, this was the 3D printing toolbox, we'll click on item. So now we have a cube here, and the align tools are going to let you line things up with that. So let's say I duplicate this cube, Shift D X, Shift D Y, and they get all out of alignment, but I want them all to be, I want this cube to be lined up with this cube. I'm going to hit select this cube and then the object I want to align it to, and I can align it on the Y axis. The Y is the green line, the X axis is the red line, and the Z axis is the vertical, as you can see here by the viewport guide. Okay, so now I want to line this cube up with this cube on the X axis. I can click on this cube and then the cube I want to line it up with, and X. It's very useful when you're trying to line things up properly in 3D space. The next tool that we enabled was the Bool Tools. And the Bool Tools is going to be under the Edit tab under Boolean. And what this does is this lets you cut parts away from other models or join them together or make any sorts of interactions between parts. So let's just see here. So say I have this cube and I want to subtract part of it from this cube. I'll line it up with my align tools. And then I'm going to bring it down into it. And to make sure you get a clean cut, I'm going to go ahead and tab into edit mode, scale by hitting S on the Y axis. And now I have this 45-degree cut. I'm going to select the cutting object and the object I want to cut it out of. I'm going to go to the edit tab. And I like to use the brush Boolean, and this lets you kind of preview what you're doing. So I want a difference cut. I want to take this out. So I want the difference of what that cut is. And here you can see, here's the outline of my object I'm cutting with and what the cut will be. And then if that is looking good and function properly, it should be showing in the modifiers tab, the wrench tool here, that it's what the operation is. But on the little panel here, you can just click apply all cutters. And now it gets rid of that. And that's my new shape. Okay, that's what the Boolean set does. You can also do other simple operations like, let's tab into edit mode. We'll scale this down and we will line this up. Let's line this up with the Y axis, and then I'm just gonna manually move it on the X axis by pushing G and grabbing it and dragging it over on the X. And let's make these two one part. So we're gonna go back to edit here and we're gonna hit union. So now if I hit the Z key and tab into the wireframe mode, it looks like it's all one mesh. If I hit Alt and Z, it'll show me that it has joined in there. The orange is the part that will be gone once I do this operation. I hit Alt Z again, Z, go back to solid, and apply all cutters. So now we have this object, and we can check and see if it is manifold by going to the 3D print tab, hitting solid, and yes, there are 0 non-manifold edges. So that object, you could now find a place to save it and export it as an STL, and that is your object. The last thing you're going to want to do, if you want to save this setup as your starting file when you open Blender, is you can delete whatever this is that I was making here, and you can go to File, scroll down to Default, and save startup file. Now what this is going to do is replace the default cube file with all the new settings you've just enabled in Blender. So when you open Blender, you will have this build plate, you'll have all your unit scale set up, and it will be ready to use for 3D printing. So you will only want to do that if you want this to be your default file seen when you're opening Blender. Okay, so that's about it really. That's how I use Blender to make models for 3D printing. So let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments, or tell me if you want to see more content like this, or any other questions you might have about how to get Blender set up for 3D printing. Blender is very useful, but can also be kind of tricky when you're getting started. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.